Today I wanted to share 3 of our favorite noodle recipes for you noodle lovers out there. To start, we're making
乾炒牛河。
beef chow fun, a dish my dad has made thousands of times.
朋友們，大家好啊！今日同大家介紹呢個咧乾炒牛河。乾炒牛河咧，梗係要牛肉啦，同埋河粉。我就先切咗啲牛肉，處理啲牛肉先嗬。我哋係用嗰啲隻線面牛肉，我用10個安士咁上下牛肉啦，炒大碟。我哋成家人食嘅，炒大碟啲嚇。切啲牛先切牛肉先嚇。呢度咧又唔好太厚，又唔好太薄。
The beef we're using here was frozen and only partially defrosted, so it's much easier to cut.
啲牛肉切咗之後咧，點樣咧？用啲水過一過啲血水嘅，等佢冇個血水，清嗰啲血水之後咧，跟住炒嗰啲牛肉咧就靚好多啦，好食啲噶啦。菜就冇乜要切嘅啫，就話切幾條葱嘅啫，啲葱同埋洋葱，啲半個洋葱就好夠啦。太多洋葱咧，啲水分大啲嘅嚇，少少就夠啦。半個洋葱咧。 青葱，葱就多啲都唔緊要啊。
How would you make this vegetarian?
一樣啫嘛，我就話唔俾肉啫嘛，嗰啲杏仁啊、啲新鮮嘅冬菇啊，總之唔好水分唔好太多嘅。先炒好嗰啲菜畢上嚟，再炒飯，炒飯之後再落啲調味料上去，炒完之後再落嗰啲菜落去，撈勻佢就得噶啦。 然之後咧，啲牛肉就開始得㗎啦，我就倒咗啲水佢嗱。而家點樣校啲料嚟醃個牛肉啦？一個茶匙個 baking soda
Before we continue with the rest of the marinade, many of our viewers have asked about how to get really tender meat when cooking these dishes, and the answer is baking soda. We all know that baking soda helps pastries rise and get fluffy, but it's also an amazing meat tenderizer. The process of marinating meat with baking soda is known as velveting because it makes the meat tender and juicy. It alkalizes the surface of the meat, which prevents the protein strands from binding to each other and helps it retain water. Without it, the meat can dry out quickly and become tough. If you don't want to use baking soda, you can always physically tenderize the meat with a mallet.
生粉就一個湯匙啦，蠔油一個湯匙，生抽湯匙，呢個老抽茶匙夠啦，唔使太多。呢個一茶匙嘅胡椒粉，水咧2個湯匙，煮嘢嘅酒係1個茶匙，糖咧少少得1個茶匙夠啦。
We have all of these ingredients listed on our blog at madewithlao.com, along with step-by-step instructions and video clips to guide you as you make the recipe at home.
而家點勻佢，撳乾水佢嗱，睇到啲血水嘛？咁慢慢撈佢，等佢快脆啲，啲牛肉吸收咗嗰啲味料上去嗱。 醃就醃好啦，啲河粉咧就呢個佢係成黐住晒嘅嘛，係咪？我哋而家咧想將佢搓散佢，擺落呢個斬板嗰度，咁樣搓佢，嗱，咁搓佢咪好容易散係嘛？
呢啲係新鮮啊！
新鮮嘅河粉，今日專河買翻嚟嘅。
Chow fun, also known as chow ho fun, gets its name from the town of Saucy in Guangzhou, where its distinctive style of flat rice noodles were first created. As more Chinese people started coming to America in the 40s and 50s, over 2/3 of them were Guangdongyan, like my mom and dad. Up until the 60s and 70s, Chinese food in America was primarily Cantonese cuisine. That's why today, Cantonese dishes like chow fun and chow mein are still among the most popular dishes across 40,000 Chinese restaurants in America.
盡量將佢散啲嗱，如果未搣開嗰啲咧，未散嗰啲咧，搣佢。
Jason from Patreon asked, how do you store them for more than a day without having them become firm? Okay.
買翻嚟之後一定要整散咗佢先至擺落個雪櫃，擺落個雪櫃，但係就炒就唔怕，唔使擺入 freezer，你隔夜炒都唔怕。俾保鮮紙封翻自己，擺喺個雪櫃呢邊。第日炒嘅時候咧，你最好就有 microwave 啦，microwave 1分鐘咁上下，等啲粉軟翻，然再炒。有啲仲黐住嘅嘛，咪搣佢咯，係嘛？好啦，河粉就處理好晒啦。
Now for the sauce, we'll be mixing together 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce.
俾落嘅時候一齊撈落去就好啦，唔使一樣一樣俾嚇。嗱啲牛肉咧醃到而家咧，佢落少少油，攞啲油上去，俾啲油上去嘅目的咧就將啲牛肉封住佢入邊嗰啲汁，等佢容易散啲。啊，一個湯匙上，撈咗佢，咁啲牛肉咧就會滑啲噶啦。
應該收尾㗎。
收尾先至俾封得到啊嘛，等佢吸上啲牛肉吸晒嗰啲味料之後咧，我先至俾啲油封咗佢，咁啊封住晒啲汁喺入邊咯，係嘛？開始炒啦，而家開火，開到最猛火，
要燒幾耐？
燒到佢鑊夠熱啦，我就俾油。
點樣知道夠熱？
我憑我經驗嘅啤手係咁喺佢就已經知道啦，嗱睇到有煙出嘅啫。
For those without my dad's cooking experience, we heated the wok for about a minute and a half before adding the oil, but that'll vary depending on your cookware.
好，我而家就落3個湯匙嘅油落去，將啲牛肉炒熟先。
We're going to heat up the oil for about 30 seconds, or until the oil starts to ripple before adding the beef.
啲牛肉咧，咁煮啲牛肉先至夠滑啊！好啦，我而家俾啲牛肉落去啦。唔使就好熟啲牛肉。
We're going to cook the beef for about 40 to 60 seconds on high heat until it's mostly brown. It's fine that it's a little red since we'll finish cooking it later.
嗱，啲牛肉好靚，啲牛肉開始8成就得㗎啦。我哋過嗰個落嚟，我哋抹一抹隻鑊先。嗱，有啲水就抹一抹佢。俾翻落去，我而家落豉油落㗎啦，唔使落好多油炒，因為啲河粉係有油嘅。啲洋葱落去炒佢，炒香佢。葱白咧又要炒佢啦。
We're going to cook the onions and white parts of the scallions for about 20 to 30 seconds.
好啦，啲河粉而家開始俾落㗎啦。炒河粉咧，唔需要一味咁搞佢㗎，慢慢炒。嗱，整散佢，因為我哋屋企炒點都唔同餐館，餐館啲爐嘅火好猛，所以我哋屋企炒河粉要慢慢炒。
你而家係猛火啊？
最猛火炒，炒河粉一定最猛火咁炒。
Donna and Amelia from Patreon asks, how do you keep the noodles from sticking together and how do you keep them from breaking?
首先咧，就好似我咁打散佢，唔好俾佢一黐埋一嚿嚿先炒。同埋炒嘅時候唔好落太多嗰啲好多水分嘅菜落去，少少就好啦。同埋炒嘅時候你唔好一味咁炒，反得佢越多，佢就容易就爛晒。如果黐鑊咧，你整係黐鑊咧，你就拔起晒佢散乾淨底下佢哋。你想再靚咧，你就再燒個鑊炒，燒熱啲個鑊炒，咁樣就好麻煩炒㗎啦，就係一黐鑊黐鑊嘅時候你就好麻煩㗎啦。
你炒到係少少
你夠香啊，聞到佢有啲香味啦，咁咪得啦嚇。
We're going to cook the noodles for about 2 minutes or until golden brown before adding the sauce.
好啦，基本上就可以炒啦。我哋搞好個鎖匙，頭先搞好個鎖匙啦，而家俾埋個鎖匙落去嚇。
We'll cook the noodles for another minute until the sauce is well mixed.
如果你覺得佢唔夠三色嘅咧，攞住再加少少嗰老抽上去，咁佢就會黑啲噶啦。夠三色啦，而家咪沖上去芽菜，太多芽菜唔使落多。
We'll cook the noodles with the scallions and bean sprouts for about 30 to 45 seconds before adding in the beef.
而家就得啦，差唔多噶啦，牛肉俾埋落去。
Finally, we'll cook everything for another minute.
Oh my god！ 嘅，咪乾炒牛河就差唔多啦，俾埋啲麻油上去，呢個大字夠啦。嚟，撐咗鑊氣啊！呢啲叫做鑊氣你仔，知道嘛？搞掂，新火，接嚟。
Yeah. Hang on. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. 你而家食晒啊？
佢真係而家食晒啊
Oh my god. So good.
OK，而家就上碟啦嗱。好啦，乾炒牛河炒好，紅台吃飯咯！多謝。
Did you guys have this growing up?
未必啊，
Oh my god.
今日就係食㗎，
In United States more often.
今日成日食㗎。
Because in China we hardly able to get beef. But we eat a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just the fun
Yeah.
with some veggie.
嗱，我一陣咧食完飯咧，我要打散嘅擺雪櫃啦。
So this is a 5-pound package we bought.
Yeah.
5 pounds.
Yeah.
So this one we use
炒
like
一磅，炒一磅多啲。
Yeah.
What else do you want to cook with this?
We can make 湯粉呢個乾炒牛河。
Okay.
好似蒸粉落豉油落辣椒醬。
蒸好蒸一蒸佢落嗰啲薑葱，你有冇薑葱？我可以bắt啲薑葱翻嚟一間。
Okay.
And bok choy soup with the 粉。
唔
Yeah.
係㗎，人哋嗰啲白菜湯咁整落去又得。
Another way to do it.
Next, my dad will show you how to craft the yummiest vegetarian noodle dish, vegetable lo mein.
朋友們，大家好，今日同大家介紹呢個咧素菜撈麵。即係素菜撈麵咧，係啊，嗰啲蘑菇啊，嗰啲西芥蘭啊、芹菜啊。
Just to highlight a few key ingredients, we're using 3 different types of mushrooms: shiitake, enoki, and king oyster. As for noodles, there are a lot of different types out there, but we're using fresh egg noodles. We do most of our shopping at 99 Ranch, where these ingredients are really easy to find. But if you don't live near one, most Asian grocery stores carry these items.
其實我揀呢幾樣咧，隨便咁做，你中意邊啲就可以你中意揀。好啦，而家咧我就先將啲麵煮好先。我哋先俾4級嘅熱水滾水落去，又再擺啲一燒滾啲水先至擺啲麵落去嚇。我呢個麵咧有15安士，我俾10個安士就已經夠啦，唔需要俾晒。中意食多啲，我中意俾晒佢，咁亦都冇乜緊要啊。不過一個 order 夾埋啲菜咧，已經好大碟㗎啦。呢度咧就足夠啦，攪勻佢嚇，唔好俾佢黐咗底嚇。咁佢滾一陣間就 OK 㗎啦。嗱，大概係10分鐘到咧就得㗎啦。趁呢個時間咧，材料切好佢先嚇。呢個就係新鮮嘅冬菇嚟嘅，嗰個水佢先洗乾淨佢啊。然之後咧，俾呢個雞髀菇嚟嘅，亦都一樣係咁樣同樣咁洗佢，嗰個水佢學。呢啲海鮮菇叫做呢個咧，就係俾一半就夠噶啦。先將呢個根部切咗佢，唔要。好啦，啲麵咧。滾喺度噶啦，攪一攪佢，親慢火嘅，等佢焗得噶啦。滾咗之後就唔使開咁大火噶啦，開到最慢嗰度得噶啦，再冚住佢，蓋焗5分鐘到就得噶啦。而家啲菇就洗咗啦，擺喺呢度嗬。呢個係鮮冬菇嚟嘅，再將佢切斜。
如果你買乾冬菇咧？
乾冬菇咧要熱水浸都要10-20分鐘先得㗎，咁樣做咧就容易好多啦。
Next, we'll chop the rest of our mushrooms and vegetables using 4 shiitake mushrooms, half of a king oyster mushroom, a third of a carrot, 3 ounces of broccoli, 3 ounces of celery, 2 ounces of red bell pepper, 1 garlic clove, and 1 piece of green onion.
有啲葱味都得㗎啦，咁就夠啦。咁就已經好多嘢㗎啦，係咪？好啦，個麵咧得㗎啦，倒轉啲麵先，睇 睇下，睇到面啦，啲面已經熟咗啦。
Next, we'll drain our noodles using a colander and rinse them in cold water for 10 to 15 seconds.
面又整好晒啦，嗱，燒隻鑊先啦。10安士嘅面整好就好大碟噶啦嚇，好大碟㗎呢度。幾分鐘咧，等個鑊燒熱先落油嚇。個鑊冇咁熱嗰時候咧，炒啲嘢咪冇咁香咯，知道嘛？如果你唔係咧，就好似俾啲滾水煮熟。好啦，我哋而家嚟落2湯匙嘅油咁上下咧。先落啲蒜頭先，啲蒜蓉先嚇。如果你唔燒紅燒熱咗隻鑊咧，啲蒜頭都唔會炒得香啊，咪係睇到嘛？
Cook the garlic for about 20 to 30 seconds.
聞到蒜頭啲香味啦。好啦，我哋而家咧將啲菜倒落去，係嘛？聽到嘛？聽到聲啦。嗱，先去炒下佢先。
Cook the veggies for about 2 to 2.5 minutes before our next step, where we add water to the wok.
炒一陣間，嗱，啲菜嘅香味就出嚟啦，聽到香咩？聞到香味嘛？如果唔係燒熱隻鑊咧，咁就冇呢啲聲音出嚟啦。即係我哋做炒嘢就叫做冇鑊氣，即係唔香。
We've touched on this in some of our previous videos, but Wok Hei is an important principle in Cantonese cooking. The Cantonese word hei is more commonly known by its Mandarin counterpart, qi, the vital life force that runs through our body. Wok Hei has a lot of different meanings, but I love how Grace Young explains it in her book, The Breath of a Wok, and how the wok breathes its energy into the food to create an epic meal. Kenji Lopez Alt, a popular science-based chef and author, recently posted a great write-up on the New York Times about the elements of Wok Hei, which centers around the reactions that occur between sugars, oils, extreme heat, and rapid evaporation. Achieving restaurant-quality Wok Hei at home is generally harder due to the heat limitations of our typical stoves. Home-cooked food still tastes great, even without a high-powered heat source. But if you're curious, I highly recommend checking out Kenji's video, where he shares his own version of lo mein noodles, made at home with a blowtorch to get more of that smoky, fleeting Wok Hei essence.
好啦，炒兩上下咧，我哋俾啲水落嘅，加啲水落噶啦。因為我哋呢個都係撈麵嚟嘅，撈麵咧就要加啲水，加多少少水落去。炒麵咧就唔使落水，加幾多水咧？就睇你有幾多麵啦。如果你麵多嘅，就加多啲水；你麵少嘅咧，就唔使加咁多水得啦。呢度咧好大碟嘅麵啦，5、6個人食都夠食噶啦。加1級水啦，啊，都係1級水嚟嘅。聽到聲咗聲響嘛？好啊，我哋將個鑊蓋冚住佢先。
Cover the wok for 2 to 3 minutes until it starts boiling. While we wait, we'll prepare a cornstarch slurry with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water. We'll be using this later to thicken our lo mein and tie all the flavors together.
滾啦，睇到滾噶啦嚇。而家咧就將啲味落嚟嚇。
Add a half tablespoon of light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, a half tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
再試一試佢嘅味道。good。好啦，而家落啲麵落去，將啲麵咧燜佢一陣間，等啲麵直接咁吸收嗰啲味料味落去嚇，再冚佢3分鐘，等佢滾差唔多啦。我做呢個撈麵咧，同好多人做嘅唔同，好多人咧就落咗佢搞咗個芡落去先再落麵咁撈勻佢，我就最尾先落嗰個芡落去撈勻。咁個好處咧，佢就啲麵未俾個芡包住嗰時之前咧，就將嗰啲味咧吸入去啲麵入邊，咁食起嚟啲麵咧。咁就會好味好多啦，個食法就唔同一樣啦。大家不妨試下分別下。
To elaborate on my dad's method, he's essentially letting the noodles marinate in the flavorful vegetable and mushroom juices. Since cornstarch acts as a thickener and a binding agent, if you add the cornstarch too early, the flavors won't get an opportunity to seep into the noodles.
嗱，好啦，滾㗎啦，麵咧嗱，好靚下。我哋而家咧就再將呢個生粉俾落去，嗱睇下，嗱下邊啲水。執喺度，已經都執喺度啦。聽到嘛？咁再煮佢一陣間，等佢乾咁啲汁先嚇。聞到肚餓啦，咪仔係嘛？聞到肚餓啦嘛 ？OK，good。
We're just about done, and we'll finish it off by adding 3 ounces of bean sprouts, our chopped green onions, and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Stir everything around for about 60 to 90 seconds.
好啦，睇到嘛？聽到啊？哇！嘅，咁呢個麵咧就煮好啦，就素菜撈麵嚇。我呢個咧就最收尾先至落個芡落去，食起嚟或者你分別下，大家分別下，再上碟，將佢夾上嚟。哇！幾靚，好大碟喺呢度。好，哇！呢啲先正喺就呢度咧，喺度啊，係嘛？咁就正啦，呢個麵就正啦，睇下幾靚，咁就呢個麵就真係正啦，哇！聞到都想食係咪？睇啲蘑菇真係好靚喎，咁咧我哋嘅素菜撈麵就煮好啦，靚唔靚啊？
Finally, my dad will teach us how to make the crispiest dish.
雞蝦煎麵 Hong Kong style，
Hong Kong style noodles, a fancy Chinese favorite.
朋友們大家好啊！今日同大家介紹呢個咧就係港式煎麵，有好多餐館有啲人叫話佢要兩面黃，但係喺嗰啲廣東嘅餐館入邊咧，多數係要香港式嘅煎麵。
If you've never had this dish, it's basically like a noodle pancake that's extremely crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, coated in a delicious savory gravy along with a variety of tasty vegetables and meats. Even though this dish is commonly known as Hong Kong style noodles or Hong Kong chow mein, the name is a little misleading as it's not originally from Hong Kong, nor is it stir-fried, which is what the word chow would suggest. As my dad alluded to, the original name is Leung Min Wong, which means yellow or golden on both sides. It originated in the Suzhou, Shanghai areas and was brought down to Hong Kong in the 1950s with the wave of Shanghainese immigrants. From there, the dish quickly caught fire as Hong Kong chefs adapted the unique technique of letting the noodles slowly form a crispy layer on each side. Nowadays, Leung Min Wong or Hong Kong style noodles are enjoyed all around the world.
我哋今日咧都係用12安士嘅麵，麵咧呢啲麵咧有生麵有熟麵，我哋而家咧就同大家介紹用生麵，熟麵好容易嘅啫，熟麵即係你按照個包裝入邊佢教你點樣做。就點樣做就得㗎啦，都已經熟咗㗎啦。我今日咧就用呢個生麵，生麵咧我亦都係要蒸過先至愛嚟煎嚇，咁樣咧佢會個口感會好多。我而家咧又將啲麵蒸過嘅先蒸熟嘅先嚇，倒啲滾水落去，咁快啲嚇。好啦，我而家將啲麵擺落去。滾水即係蒸10分鐘咁上下就得㗎啦，好快脆嘅啫。
For this dish, we'll be using about 12 ounces of Chinese egg noodles.
今日咧，我哋用嘅材料係咩咧？係用蝦仁大概係6安士咁上下㗎啦。你中意食多啲，俾多啲冇乜所謂。雞肉咧，我今日選擇係用雞胸肉，仲有咧蘑菇、白蘑菇，俾少少紅蘿蔔，俾少少葱粒葱段嚇。呢個咧。白菜嗱係大概係8安士咁上下嗱，我而家先切雞肉成1磅咁滯嘅啦，我仲少少夠啦，唔使咁多。當然你又想食晒㗎，我俾晒佢就唔緊要咯嚇，不過就太多啦，俾晒就雞肉咧就切片嚟㗎，切片一片片嚇，一片片，得嘛？
你打橫切啊？
日日都橫紋啊！嗰啲紋，攞整啲紋係咪？呢啲紋係咁樣嚟噶嘛，我哋咁切咯，係嘛？嗱，睇住，明白？
For more comprehensive lessons on knife technique and safety, we're super excited to invite you to the CANTO Cooking Club, a membership where you'll learn to cook and think just like a Cantonese chef. First off, Made with Lau is here to stay and we'll still be sharing recipes and tips on YouTube every single week. So if memberships aren't your thing, no pressure. But for those of you who are super curious and passionate, if you want an expert to walk you through step-by-step how to master Cantonese cooking, then this might be perfect for you. In the CANTO Cooking Club, we're not just giving you recipes. For less than the cost of takeout, we're distilling my dad's 50 years of experience into organized, easy to follow classes, teaching you how to set up your kitchen, how to use a wok, how to craft and improvise with different flavors, and more. When you join, you get instant access to everything, and every month you'll get a new class to build on your foundation with videos, printouts, and mastery recipes. It's all on demand, so you can learn at your own pace and not have to show up at specific times. Also, in our private community, you'll get to connect directly with Daddy Lau, make new friends, and cultivate better cooking habits through our weekly challenges. So if you want cooking to feel more effortless and intuitive, go to club.madewithlao.com or click the link in our description to sign up.
我點啲生粉落咧，醃咗佢咧，啲雞肉會爽，會滑啲噶啦。一個茶匙，啲咁多夠鹽啊，少少就夠啦，唔使太多。一個茶匙嘅水，多啲啫。我哋攪勻啲生粉攪勻啲生粉佢。
Stir the cornstarch slurry and chicken for about 30 seconds until the chicken is evenly coated.
雞肉就切好咗啦，啲蝦咧就唔需要再處理啦。 因為啲係蝦仁攞翻嚟，就佢已經去碎晒腸㗎，乜都唔使就咁得㗎啦。菜白菜仔嚟㗎嗬，我哋點樣切咧？如果係大棵嘅咧，切到4下，睇住嚟呢度中間，咁樣，啲細啲嘅咧，你切咗2下就夠啦。切2下就可以㗎啦。啲大棵嘅咪切4下咯。 仲有紅蘿蔔係少少夠噶啦。薑咧，啲少2片啲薑角啊，叫做。薑角嚟啦，咁切咧，擺喺度。葱欖叫做。 咁切，呢就夠啦。呢啲白蘑菇嚟嘅，我哋出呢個掟佢，一開熱得啦。假如有朋友話唔食肉㗎，咁你唔俾肉都得㗎，蘑菇啊、菜啊，咁俾其他嘢就得㗎啦。如果你唔食肉㗎，料就係咁多嘢啦。嗱，我哋切好晒嘢之後咧，麵就得啦。 睇下面，而家熟晒啦嚇，熟晒啦，我哋拎佢取佢，再拎起個蒸架佢，將啲麵倒翻佢落嚟。
而家點解你落？
你咁樣俾啲滾水再浸過佢之後咧，佢唔會咁硬啲麵，個口感會好啲，唔會硬嘅嚇，知道嘛？好啦，撈佢啫就得㗎啦。OK。
Once the noodles are done, we'll drain them into a colander and start fluffing and separating the noodles with chopsticks.
咁咪乾身啲就煎得㗎啦。
係咪好緊要整鬆啊？
整鬆咗佢，等佢唔好黐埋啦嘛。咁整乾身啲之後煎起上嚟，佢唔會黐埋咯嚇。
Next, we'll heat our wok on a high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. If you're using a non-stick pan like this one, use medium-high heat to help protect the non-stick coating. Then we'll add 1 tablespoon of corn oil. Swirl it around the pan and let the oil heat up until it's shimmering or forming ripples across the surface.
好啦，我而家俾啲麵落㗎啦嚇。
For the noodles, we want each side to become a crispy golden brown. We'll cook each side for about 6 to 8 minutes, occasionally turning the noodles but not stirring or breaking into the layers.
但係你唔係好快搞啊？
唔煎啊嘛，唔使搞㗎，煎你佢黃色咁就咩煎香嘅，慢慢煎。
點解要轉啊？
因為個爐嗰啲火咧，唔係度度都係咁均勻㗎，係咪？多數後邊嗰度咧熱啲嘅。
哦，係。
佢係因為嗰啲火係咁就算係餐館都係後邊嗰度係熱啲嘅。我屋企嗰度煮嘢咧都係後邊嗰度熱啲嘅。要煎到佢香，煎到佢黃色。 所以佢有啲餐館叫做兩面黃，點解叫做兩面黃咧？即係佢兩邊都要煎到佢黃色，所以咁就叫做兩面黃。但係廣東餐館咧就多數叫做港式嘅煎麵。其實呢個煎麵咧，你可以用咩材料都得㗎，用牛肉又得，用雞肉又得，用蝦又得，甚至你係我唔食肉㗎，俾啲 mushroom 啊、菜啊、broccoli 啊嗰啲菠蘿都得㗎。嗱，我哋屋企煎咧就用油少啲，就唔使要煎耐啲咁多啊。如果喺餐館做嗰啲餐館咧，佢用多啲油燒咁樣好快脆就得㗎啦。但係屋企咧就慢慢嚟啦，又唔想咁多油，知道嘛？
OK， 你點知道得反轉啊？
嗱，睇到喎，嗱喺邊係咪黃色啊？係咪黃色啊？係咪？睇咩？睇到嘛？睇下黃色啊？嚇？我如果反轉個殼，啊睇到嘛？啊睇到嘛？金黃色嚇，睇咩？黃色，兩面黃咪兩面黃啊，咁咪兩面黃噶啦。香港食得油嘅煎麵係咁噶啦，嗱，再煎埋呢邊就得噶啦。我哋再俾少少油落去。
點解加啲油啊？
啲油脂有啲油先炸煎得佢香啊嘛，知得嘛？啊，頭先弄咗一個湯匙，而家俾埋一個湯匙落去。
你一開始要煮幾耐啊？
一邊起碼煎10分鐘，一邊我哋屋企要煎咁耐，餐館就唔使，餐館油用好多油，屋企咧唔用咁多油，所以要煎耐啲，知道嘛？得噶啦。OK 得噶啦。先炒嗰啲雞先嚇。
We'll cook the chicken for about 1 minute before adding the other ingredients.
俾埋啲葱薑落去。
Let the ginger and green onions cook for about 45 to 60 seconds before adding the shrimp.
啲葱同埋啲薑平時你切細啲，點解今日係咁大啊？
呢個菜係咁樣嘅，同埋炒菜咧要切係呢個啦。俾埋啲蝦落去炒佢。
We'll let the shrimp cook for about a minute until it starts turning orange. For this step, the chicken and shrimp don't yet need to be fully cooked because we'll still be cooking everything more later.
好，我哋不死啲菜、啲雞肉同啲蝦先。好啦，即係仲有啲油喺度，我哋唔使再俾油啦。將啲菜俾落去，再俾埋啲蘑菇落去。嗱，呢個煎麵咧要好大個芡汁鋪上個面㗎嚇。我而家要俾12個安士嘅水咁上下啦。好啦，將啲菜煮熟咗之後咧，呢度多咗噶，唔使俾咁多，就得噶啦。
Cover the pan and let the vegetables cook for about 4 minutes.
好啦，而家俾埋嗰啲蝦同埋雞落去嚇。咁樣咧，啲蝦同你雞先至唔會煮得太熟嗰陣嚇。我哋而家咧落啲味落去咯喎，用鹽咧大半個茶匙夠啦嚇。有啲少少糖上去，有3/4個糖啦。雞粉咧個茶匙咧。當然雞粉你可以唔落，我就想佢俾啲雞粉去增加佢個汁嘅鮮味，係嘛？蠔油咧呢個湯匙。咁已經就俾齊晒嘢啦，你想唔想試試啊？好味嘛？OK，而家我哋開始攪個生粉上去啦。個芡汁咧，我要俾個半湯匙咧，水咧1個湯匙咧夠啦。將佢攪勻，攪好晒啲粉先啦。好啦，嗱，攪勻佢。個汁咧要慢慢俾個匙羹攪住佢啊，因為倒晒落去咧，佢就會結，有啲係攪唔勻啦。嗱，咁樣嘅情形咧就未夠咯喎，未夠粉咯喎，就再加多啲喎，加多大半個粉上去，因為佢芡汁大。呢個煎麵咧，佢個芡汁一定要大啲先好食，係嘛？一個茶匙嘅麻油上去，嗱，好啦，搞掂晒。我而家咧就擺佢上嚟，啲菜咁夾咗擺咗佢先。叫到落嚟。OK， 呢個就係雞蝦煎麵 Hong Kong style，紅堆食耶！
睇住嚟點嘅。
Oh yeah, that's it.
嚟嚟
Okay,
嚟
cheers.
香港煎麵。
Cheers.
唔該食嘛，都唔中意食。
Oh, I'm so happy.
That
Yeah.
tastes good.
You hear the crunch? So a lot of people asked about crispiness. How do you get the most crispy noodles? This is our most popular question.
多啲油，而且佢最好脆咧，煎到佢俾多啲唔多油煎，煎好佢就脆好脆啦。個煎完咧，你唔好等咁耐食。
A lot of questions too about, is there a way to use less oil?
我哋屋企煎就已經少油嘅，你知道嘛？如果就係西館做啦，好多油咁樣，一定要有油先整呢個脆。
How do you make the noodles not stick to the wok?
如果你蒸嗰啲麵嚟煎咧，就永遠唔黐鑊。如果你係咁煲熟啲麵咧，就或者會黐，都會多少會黐鑊。而咧好似嗰啲有啲唔黐鑊嘅嗰啲唔黐嗰啲鑊咧，就 OK 啦，咪唔怕咯。紅都有嘢咯。喂，阿爺得閒咯，阿爺得閒煮俾你食啦，係嘛？阿爺得閒。哦，做咩？
He says, it's time to go to sleep.
It's time for bed. YouTube thinks you'll like this recipe next. Let's see if they're right. A huge thank you to our wok stars and all of our chefs in the CANTO Cooking Club.